3 o'clock. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pledge of Allegiance are the invocations offered by Commissioner Lucido.
Thank you, Chair. Dear God, we thank you for the many gifts you have given us. Please help to guide this commission to have the knowledge and strength to do what is best for all of the residents of Macomb County. Let us come together to find solutions that will benefit all of the residents of this great county. Help us work towards the same goals. Even if we travel down different paths, let us start each day with an open heart and an open mind so that we can understand each other and make our country an even better place to live. It is in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner Lucido. The next item is a motion to adopt the agenda.
Romano adopts the agenda.
Support.
Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve the minutes dated January 25th, 2024.
So moved by Nard.
Support Perna.
Any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Item 6 is public participation. This is the first opportunity for those in the public who wish to speak in any item on the agenda. At the end of the meeting, you have an opportunity to speak in any item you like. You have 3 minutes to speak. Please come forward, say your name for the record.
Hello again, my name is Carol Chi. I live at 35325 Moravian Drive in Sterling Heights. Lived there since 1981. I'm here to ask you again to please reconsider your resolution that is against the 5 House bills in the state of Michigan and the 5 Senate bills in the state of Michigan. Please reconsider and vote to support them, or don't say either way that you support or don't support them, because it's really a state issue. I just want to remind you, because I think you have some misinformation. You think you've been told that it's only going to help Detroit. I want to remind you, now I'm a Detroiter originally. I grew up there and lived there for 30 years before we moved to Sterling Heights for a bigger lot and a bigger garden and all that. I just want to remind you that without the city of Detroit, what happens to Michigan? We don't want to let the city of Detroit go down. It's coming up now. In many parts, not in all parts. I know the old neighborhood I lived in, unfortunately, is not really coming up yet, but in many other parts it is. Those bills do not, the water accessibility and affordability bills do not, it's not a tax. And I want to remind people that it helps Macomb County, it helps the whole state, even though you've been told differently by some people. 60,760 households that are in Macomb County are at or under the poverty level, and they are eligible for this program. In Macomb County alone, where we are right now, 60,000. And one gentleman in here said that he didn't think Sterling Heights had any people that would access it, but GLWA, the RAP program has people in Sterling Heights that are eligible for it. It has a whole list in the second, if I can get my fingers to work, sorry, I'm getting old, fingers aren't working too good. All these cities and townships, all these cities and townships in Macomb County, Sterling Heights is right there. So there are people in poverty, and some of them probably live right down the street from me in these apartments that are at 15 and Moravian, okay? And I just want you to think about this. And there are 5 bills, and one of them will decriminalize. Because right now, if you reconnect your water because it's been shut off, which is a terrible thing to have your water shut off, I hope you wrote down one day in the past week or two how many times you used water in your household. Or how many times water was used.
Ma'am.
How many?
30 seconds.
Thank you. Anyway, please consider this, because it'll make it less. And if someone reconnects their water because it's a thing for your health, it's a thing for all life, why should they get 5 years in prison for that? That's quite excessive, I'd say. So it would decriminalize it. And it's only $2 a month. And if you're right near the poverty edge and you pay that $2 and then you go over, then you benefit from it too. Someone else said, what if they're right near that edge? Well, okay. But they would benefit also. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard under public participation? Step forward, you've got 3 minutes.
All right, Board, sorry I have to look down. I have a couple things I wish to talk about today. Good afternoon, Board Chair, and Commissioners. I'm Commander Jason Albert from Macomb County Sheriff's Office. I'm here as a citizen, also a county employee. I'm here to speak about the Macomb County Sheriff's position, to explain to the board the position of sheriff and the major discrepancies regarding the fiscal scale of the position. The Sheriff of Macomb County is currently responsible for 6 communities. That means he is the police chief for 6 of our communities: Macomb Township, Harrison Township, City of Mount Clemens, Washington Township, Lennox Township, Village of New Haven. Sheriff's position also oversees ComTech, specifically dispatching for large communities such as Sterling Heights and Clinton Township. When you look at the pay scale regarding what other sheriffs make, some of you may have seen the scale breakdown that I've provided, but I'll explain. Washtenaw County population is currently 369,000. Sheriff of Washtenaw currently makes $170,000. Kent County population is 658,000. The Sheriff of Kent County currently makes $161,000. Macomb County population is just under 900,000. The Sheriff of Macomb County makes $134,000. I'll repeat that, $134,000 for the police chief and sheriff of our county. Local police chiefs are currently at the following: City of Warren, Commissioner, $158,000 with additional benefits. Shelby Township, $146,000. Sterling Heights Police Chief, $145,000. Clinton Township Police Chief, $136,000. Roseville Police Chief's at $130,000. You should also know that several of these communities are currently in contract negotiations to raise the pay for their leaders. This will put the sheriff's salary even further behind the average. Many of the sheriff administrators here today are being paid higher wages than the sheriff. The sheriff oversees 584 employees, 200 is reserves, and about 800 inmates. I do not know of any company that the CEO, CFO, the CEO makes less money than the CFO, COO, and so on. I want to look at the great things this county is doing. You should be proud of your accomplishment, every single one of you, and what we're doing and the leadership that we have in this county. We are a strong county that takes pride in our work, our employees, and our leadership. And I really mean that. Every one of you should be very proud of what we're doing here today. But I have to ask you, when will we stop chasing other communities? When will we stop looking across our county borders constantly to look at what others are getting paid?
You have 30 seconds.
Almost done. When will we take charge in our salaries? Thank you for your time. And I truly mean it. I thank you for your leadership and everything you do in this county. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard under public comment? Please step forward.
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Stephen Briney. I live in Macomb Township and have been a resident of Macomb County for 47 years. I would like to start by explaining some responsibilities as the Captain of Uniformed Services serving Macomb County at the Sheriff's Office. Under my span of control, I am in charge of and responsible for 228 road deputies, 12 lieutenants, 33 sergeants, 47 protective service officers, and 200 sheriff reserve units, deputies. I am in charge of 24/7 road patrol, day shift, afternoons, and midnights. I'm in charge of the contracted substations, which includes the City of Mount Clemens, Harrison Township, Lennox Township, Macomb Township, the Village of New Haven, and Washington Township, as well as being responsible to those elected officials. Also, emergency response for 4 townships that do not have police departments, which is Armada, Bruce, Ray, and Richmond. We also respond to the nearby local, state, and federal agencies which request our assistance. Now, I'm responsible for the K-9 units, all substations in our contracted areas, community policing, motorcycle units, body-worn and in-car cameras, flock cameras throughout the county, department cell phones, fleet management of 100+ patrol cars, their maintenance, daily and monthly inventory, and providing items needed in each patrol car so deputies have the tools they need when pulling into a scene. such as flares, cones, defibrillators, fire extinguishers, blankets, etc. I'm in charge of the fleet garage, the crash board review, mobile communications, reserve scheduler, traffic department, motor carriers, traffic grants, abandoned autos, court services, 74 protective service officers, building security for the circuit, district, probate, and county building. The courts and the county building. I'm in charge of the civil division, district courts, in custody court transports to the district and county courts, pursuit boards, citizens complaints, command field training and evaluations, command and training requests, deputy probation performance evaluations, and special events. Last year, we scheduled and staffed approximately 215 special events. These events included local community events, presidential details, parades, school organized events, and the Michigan Amphitheater concerts. These were all done with the assistance of road patrol deputies, reserve deputies, and command staff.
You have 30 seconds.
Thank you. As you know, the Sheriff's Office is the largest law enforcement agency in Macomb County. Along with the uniformed service captain's responsibilities that I mentioned, the sheriff is also in charge of my services, the corrections services, administrative services, dispatch communications, and budget issues. Sheriff Anthony Wickersham is always available and lead and guide our agency 24/7 without fail. Without these incredible responsibilities, the position of Macomb County Sheriff, excuse me for a minute. With these incredible responsibilities, the position of Macomb County Sheriff should be one of the highest paid positions in Macomb County, arguably in the state of Michigan, and be compensated appropriately. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard?
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Board. I am Rob Doherty. I'm a resident of Macomb Township, as well as MA Captain with the Sheriff's Office. I wanted to briefly discuss some duties and responsibilities of the sheriff that may not be covered in his job description. As mentioned by Captain Briney, the job of the sheriff is a 24/7, 365-day year duty. It is not a 40-hour work week. The sheriff position regularly has to deal with situations on off hours to include weekends. The sheriff's expected to make those decisions and provide guidance. The sheriff is leaned on for leadership, not only for the county of Macomb, the state of Michigan, but also at the federal level. Listed are some of the professional organizations that are required of the sheriff to be positioned to be part of. Macomb County Chiefs of Police Association, Southeast Michigan Chiefs of Police Association, Michigan Chiefs of Police Association, Michigan Sheriff's Association, FBI National Academy Associates, Northwestern University School of Police Staff and Command Alumni Association, Board Chair of County of Macomb Enforcement Team, Board Member of Michigan High Intensity Drug Trafficking Areas Executive Board, Board Member of Care House Advisory Board, Board Member of Comprehensive Youth Services, Board Member of Crime Stoppers, Vice Chair of Community Corrections Advisory Board, Vice Chair of Michigan Commission of Law Enforcement Standards, Major County Sheriff's Representative on the FBI Criminal Justice Information Service Advisory Policy Board, FBI Officer Safety Task Force, FBI Public Safety Strategy Committee. I believe the position of sheriff should be one of the top paid officials in Macomb County. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard? Please step forward. We've got 3 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Board. My name is Lori Mesh. I'm a captain with the Macomb County Sheriff's Office and a resident of Macomb County for 51 years. The man in the arena. Theodore Roosevelt, April 23rd, 1910. It is not the critic who counts, nor the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that at his place shall never be those whose cold and timid souls, who know neither victory nor defeat. I come before you today as one who stands in the arena each day. I am here with my colleagues who are here to speak on behalf of the office of the sheriff. I have had the honor and privilege to work for the office of the sheriff for the past 29 years. The role of sheriff is a department head, an elected official, a peacemaker, and a head law enforcement official of the county. The sheriff is required by statute to keep a jail. The keeping of this jail is like running a small city. Over 13,000 people came through our jail last year. We have 188 corrections deputies, over half of whom have been hired in the past 4 years. We provide oversight of contracted medical and mental health services, food services, and everything else needed to run a facility that houses people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. The office of the sheriff does not get a day off, does not go off call, and does not sleep without one eye open and half awake. When that phone rings or that text message sounds, not a thing goes by that the sheriff is not aware of and is ready to respond to and immediately address. The level of professionalism of the sheriff in handling matters of safety and security is exemplary.
You have 30 seconds.
I have come before this board many times to ask you for approval. Today, I am not here to ask for anything. Rather, I would ask the question, why would you not be for something? Why would you not back and financially support those who are in the arena? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard under public comment?
All right, lift this up a little bit. Hi again, George Higgins, I'm a Fraser resident, here again hoping that you will oppose the resolution on the agenda 14C. I can barely read my own chicken scratch, 1188.5. I want to start by thanking the vice chair for his comments at the close of the last meeting. He expressed that he didn't feel this item belonged on the agenda, and I tend to agree with him. It doesn't have anything to do with the county budget. It's not really relevant. You know, this is something for our state reps in Lansing to vote on. We all have state reps. Macomb County has a lot of state reps, actually, so we can call plenty of people and express our feelings on this. But I also think you should slow down and either withdraw the resolution or vote no on it. Because I'm not sure you fully understand it and the bills. And that's not a knock because you guys are at the county level. It's actually not your obligation or responsibility. And they're quite dense. Commissioner Van Sickle, at the last meeting, you made a comment that you took issue with these bills because how the money from the Water Affordability Fund would be spent. You said that you didn't like how in the bill it would allow that money from the low-income program in the state treasury to spend on materials, salaries, pipes, those sorts of things. The materials and the salaries in particular you singled out. But that is exactly what happens when you pay your water bill. These bills are designed to provide more financial stability to our water providers. That's why GLE was passed a resolution in support of it. When you pay your water bill, they take the money from your water bill and they use it to pay their staff, the salaries. They use it to buy new materials for construction and maintenance and the investment in infrastructure we need as a region. So the subsidy that would be paid out of the state treasury to help cover that gap between the individual's water bill and what it would be without this program. Of course, we want to specify that money has to go just into staff salaries to maintain our water infrastructure, materials, construction, investment in the infrastructure. That's exactly where it should be spent. We don't want to have a situation, back in the day, I was reading about this the other day, when Detroit was under emergency management, the emergency manager, not the city of Detroit, but the emergency manager of Detroit was taking money out of the water fund and taking it into the general fund and doing a whole bunch of malarkey with it. So of course, we want that provision written into the law. And I think whoever showed you that and said that's a reason that you should oppose the bills, I think they're trying to misguide you.
You've got 30 seconds.
Okay, I'll wrap it up. We're in an election year. We're gonna have plenty of partisan politics. We're gonna be sick of partisan politics by the end of this year. Some of it, I'm guessing a lot of us are already sick of it. I hope that you will reject this resolution, because water shouldn't be partisan. Affordable water shouldn't be partisan. As one of the previous, public commentators mentioned, 60 or 70,000 people in Macomb County are below 200% of the federal poverty line and would qualify for this bill. So I hope you'll support them.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard under public comment? Anything on the agenda? Anyone else want to be heard under public comment? One last time. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. There'll be another one at the end of the agenda for any subject matter you wish. The next items are items that have been previously reviewed and adopted or in committee and brought forward to this full board for final passage. There's been much discussion about these items previously, so we may be going through them quickly, but know that we've reviewed them in depth previously. Item 7 is Health and Human Services Committee recommendations. I need a motion to approve items 8 through C.
So moved.
Support. Any discussion, any of those items? Please vote.
Mr. Chair, I have a question, if you don't mind. Sorry. I was absent for this committee because I was at a conference and I watched the video of this committee and nobody asked the question that I wanted to ask. So if you don't mind, but I don't see anybody in the audience that I don't think can answer my question. So if I could get an answer, that would be much appreciated. I don't have a problem with the qualifications of the doctor or anything like that. I do have a question about the salary, how that number was decided upon. Obviously, previously, we had contracted with a person and a company, so that dollar can be a little more in flux. We are now bringing on a county employee, which is my understanding that we do have a pay matrix and a pay scale for those employees. And the number for the salary for this position seems extremely high and outside of that pay scale. So I'm wondering how that number was decided upon and who made that number, because it's also a very round number. And if you look at our salaries, they're not clean round numbers like that. So if I could get an answer to that, I would appreciate that. Thank you,
We'll do
Mr.
that.
Chair.
We'll share that when we get the answer to you and all the members of the board. Thank you. Any other discussion on items? Commissioner Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to relay back some information that I got from Corp Counsel in committee. I did
Now,
ask
this
the
is on
question.
item 7C.
C. Yes, 7.
Please.
Come on.
You're on.
So I did follow up in regards to one of the comments or questions that I had during committee relative to the conflict of interest in this position with the relationship with St. Clair County. Corporation Counsel did confirm that they have reviewed it and there is no conflict of interest here. So I just wanted to relay that to the board. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Your comments noted. Any other discussion on any of these items? Seeing none, please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Item 8, Finance, Audit, and Budget Committee recommendations. I'd like the motion to approve items 9A through I. 8. Agenda item 8. Motions 8 and 9A through I.
So move, Hall.
Support. Any discussion on these items? Seeing none, please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Item 9, Public Services Committee recommendations. I'd like a motion to approve items 10A through D.
9, are we on 9?
And that's, I'm sorry, mistyping the notes here. So need a motion to approve 9A through D.
So move.
Support. Any discussion on these items? Please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Item 11, Internal Services Committee recommendations. I need a motion to approve items 11A through B.
I think we're on 10, Chair.
Is there a motion that been made and supported? Any discussion? on
Records and
those
Public
items?
Safety, motion to approve. Items A through C.
Yes.
Support.
Any discussion on these items? Please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Item 12, Government Oversight Committee recommendations. Need a motion to approve items 12A.
No.
So I think your schedule is messed up there, Chair. I don't think they've got it in rotation for you. You're on 11. You mentioned 12. Is yours, where's mine messed up? Maybe mine's messed up.
Internal Services.
Jump to government oversight.
Yes.
A and B.
Yes, 11A and B, please.
Support.
Any discussion on these items? Please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Item 12, Government Oversight Committee recommendations. Need a motion to approve item A.
So moved.
Wait a minute.
Support.
Nard.
Any discussion on this item? Please vote.
I'm good.
Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Item 13, Ordinances. Need a motion to approve item A.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Any discussion on this item?
May I make a statement?
Please.
I would vote differently if it was put together differently. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Please vote.
Motion passes 7-6. Commissioners Grote, Kraft, Sabatini, Vansickle, Song, and Zinner voting no.
Thank you. Item 14, resolutions. Resolution 14A, designated depository resolution.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Any discussion on this item?
Can we separate C?
He just said A.
Oh,
We're gonna
we
do
just
them
did A.
individually.
Okay,
We're gonna do them
separate.
individually.
Okay, okay.
Any discussion on A? Please vote.
Motion passes 13-0.
Item 14B, resolution 2024-11-1908, resolution to commit support for the Bridge Investment Program. Need a motion?
Support.
Any discussion? Please vote. Please.
Added. If it could be added, that would be great.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over here,
I can't hear you either.
Commissioner.
Commissioner, I stated in committee that I'd like to be added to this resolution since
Oh.
it directly relates to Macomb Township, my district.
Absolutely, we'll have that
And
done.
it wasn't added, so I'm just asking that it be added.
We'll
Thank you,
add your
Chair.
name to that, Commissioner, without objection. Saying none, please vote.
Thank you. Motion passes 13-0.
Chair, do we need to amend the motion to resolution
We
to
did-
include?
We'll just add names, with no opportunity to add names of commissioners without objection.
Objection.
Thank you. You're welcome. Item 14C, Resolution 2024-1188-5, a resolution opposing Senate Bills 549 through 54 and House Bills 5088 to 5093. Need a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Any discussion on this item? Please vote.
Motion passes 8-5. Commissioners Lucido, Nard, Perna, Wallace, and Song voting no.
Thank you. Item 14D, Resolutions 2024, that's 12,000, resolution approving proposal for election charter commission be placed in the 2024 general election ballot as required by the county charter. Need a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Support for that? Support. Any discussion on this item?
Chair, I have a question.
Please.
Regarding this resolution, does it have to be passed at a certain time? Are we able to push this to the next month's meeting? My question is, and I wasn't here when the charter was amended in 2014, and this resolution is to put a question on the ballot regarding the general revision, but also the election of the charter commission. So is there any legal opinion that we can get regarding that? And have we spoken to the county clerk
Yes.
regarding it?
Yes, we've consulted with our attorney as well as the county clerk.
Okay.
This is before us
All right, so
properly.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Please vote.
Did it come through? Zinner, yes.
Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Item 15 is correspondence. Need a motion to receive and file.
So moved by Nard.
Support.
Any discussion? Please vote.
Yes, yes, Zinner. Thank you. Luke, always.
Motion passes 13-0.
Thank you. Item 7 is board office update, monthly update of
You missed one.
16. Oh, I'm sorry, resolution, I'm sorry. Item 16A, resolution 2024-12-120-52, resolution to override county executive veto from February 7, 2024. Need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Support Zinner.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Please.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, there's some question regarding this resolution, legal question, and I'm not really prepared to vote on this. Is there any way that board would consider a postponement of this until we get either corporate counsel or legal opinion from our particular counsel?
Are you making a motion?
I can make a motion to that effect if I may.
I'll support that.
The motion to postpone till the next meeting.
Okay, it's a
Motion to table.
there's no motion.
Sorry?
Motion.
I can't hear you, Mr. McKee.
When are you
March
tabling it
21st.
to?
Motion to postpone to March 21st.
I support that.
Okay. The motion properly before us, is there discussion on this motion? Commissioner Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is there a timeline?
Chair, point of order, you cannot discuss a motion to table.
I would have let you.
Just saying.
Do we vote on that?
We'll call the vote, the table motions.
Chair, if I may just,
Please.
order really quick. So we can't discuss this, but if it's not voted, then we can still discuss the matter.
We're voting?
30 days.
Why we postpone?
A yes vote supports the motion to table, a no vote does not. Please vote.
Motion fails 6-7. Commissioners Brown, Grote, Kraft, Lucido, Sabatini, Vansicle, and Zinner voting no.
Okay, so it's on the table before, so we'll call the vote on the main motion.
Now we can talk about it. So
Please.
I'd like to, after class.
Mr. Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a question about timing. Usually with the veto, there's a certain amount of time. Is there a certain amount of time to override said veto? And if we table it, are we outside of that window? I'm just curious as to how that timing and process would work.
I just looked
sure
it
on
up.
that.
It's 30 days.
Say again?
30 days
30 days
From which point?
when we
from
received
February
it.
7th, right?
When we received it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Crystal.
Commissioner Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. A couple questions have already been brought up today in regards to legal opinions. I'm going to say this again. I've said it before many times, but Corporation Counsel used to be at our full board meetings at all times to answer questions like this. Chair, maybe we could communicate with Corp Counsel and getting a representative here at just our full board meetings, just to make sure that everything is done in prudent of our charter, and if any commissioners have questions, as some have had today, that they can be answered.
Very
Thank you,
good,
Chair.
thank you. All right. Any other discussion on this item? Please vote.
Well, discussion.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yes.
Commissioner, I'm sorry.
Thank you,
Commissioner
Chair. You know, I had a really hard time voting on this when it came before us because I felt that the way that this item was introduced in committee was very kind of tricky. We were voting on something in planning and economic development that was unrelated to this budget amendment. And so I don't know if anyone here is surprised that this was vetoed, because attaching something to an item, it just seems kind of tricky, for lack of a better word. And I just don't feel comfortable passing this resolution to override the veto. Because when we had originally voted on this, it was for a budget amendment that was from a different department and unrelated to the proposed item in the prosecutor's office. I just think the way of us doing this is just not, it doesn't come off as very honest. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Mai. Anyone else want to speak to this?
I do.
Commissioner Haw.
Thank you, Chair. I wouldn't use the last term illegal, but I would definitely use the term confusing. It was not as transparent as everything else that we advocate we do. I don't ever recall attaching a budget amendment to another amendment for the Planning Commission. I do recall our council saying we could do it, and now we're being challenged with a veto of it, so that's why I'm going to vote no. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair.
Commissioner Romano.
Thank you. I originally made that amendment and I attached it. I guess under certain different circumstances, I would have liked to seen it stand alone. Unfortunately, I didn't. And the fact that it may be vetoed for whatever reasons are going to be stated at a later date is one of the reasons I'll be voting no on it also. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else? Please call the vote.
I just want to make something really clear, because I don't think, and sorry, can I speak?
Please.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. I don't think maybe some of the newer commissioners, such as myself and others, really understand that when this amendment was introduced on this item, it really forced us to either vote yes on both or no on both. And if we had wanted to vote on the amendment for the planning and economic development, then we had to vote on this other item that was attached to it. And that really forced us to vote on both of them. And I just think that that's just really tricky. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Song. Anybody else? Call the vote.
Breaks now.
I'm missing votes from Commissioner Haw, Sabatini. Who else? I think that's it. Thank you. Commissioner Haw?
No.
Thank you. Motion passes 8-5. Commissioners Haw, Nard, Perna, Romano, and Song voting no.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry. That fails. We need 9.
Say again?
Requires a
The motion
two-third.
fails. I need 9 to pass.
Motion failed.
All right, very good. Next item is board office update. Go ahead, Crystal.
Okay. The first meeting of the older adults' new term was very productive. The group finished reviewing the survey that Adriana had coordinated for them. Every member that was in attendance at that meeting agreed to do a mix of meetings this year, where some will be held here in our boardroom, and then they wanted to continue to hold meetings out in the communities as well. So Adriana's going to be working on scheduling those and covering the areas of the county that we didn't get to last year. And we are coming up to a busy season for our regular BOC events. Green Schools will be held on April 23rd. This year, that'll be a tri-county event with both Oakland and Wayne, and the Detroit Zoo is hosting that there. So it's going to be a different type of ceremony than what we typically, what you're typically used to. And then you probably also noticed that we are requesting nominations for volunteers. The deadline is April 5th for that. Commissioners are welcome to nominate one if they'd want to be considered. And then you'll hear from Laura the following week after the deadline to choose the 2 that you're going to have recognized at this year's event. I also want to continue to thank you for your patience with Civic Clerk. Luke is in contact with them daily for updates, reporting what's going on. We're considering any options if this does continue, but they are working on it, and he's in contact with them daily. Mary has been slowly training to take over in her new role while still covering her old role for us, but we are interviewing for that position this week and next. I have a couple other updates of things in the works. You were all sent the recommendation for the bids for the boardroom renovation, and Ben Treppa will be bringing that project to you at next month's meeting. And we are well underway in deploying our new constituent management system. We meet at least weekly with the vendor. A couple staff members have test accounts, and as we go through and test it, their programmer is customizing the program based on our needs. We're hoping to be fully implemented by the end of March, but hopefully it'll be in the spring sometime at least. That's all I have on my updates for this month. Does anyone have any questions?
Question.
Yes, please go ahead, Commissioner Romano.
Thank you, Chair. Crystal, is Hunch Free here?
No.
Did we not ask for them to be present at least?
I know that comment was made. Our office plan was to have Mary cover those meetings because she's our full-time person. She's here anyway. So she has been in a lot of more of the meetings. I don't know if you've noticed if we have office coverage, but that will be her job to feed them that content.
Well, I'm sure that Mary is more than able to take care of the problem, or to be at the meetings, but I thought we had discussed this quite at length, and that they had said to us that they would be here. In fact, we even talked to them on the elevator, and they also said, whoever it was, the CEO, whoever the guy said, absolutely, we'll have somebody there for at least your meetings. I mean, I'm sure that Mary can handle it, but is there an extra cost for Hunt Free to be here?
Well, I mean, that's just a decision the board chair and I have made on what Hunt Free covers and what our staff covers, so.
We'll have him here next
Yeah.
time.
All right. Thank you. That's all I have, Chair.
Thank you. Anybody else for Crystal? Okay.
Have a motion, receive and file?
Please vote.
Did you get a vote?
Commissioners Grote, Haw, and Zinner. If you'd like to voice vote, I can add it.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Motion passes 13-0.
You have a thing. There you go. Oh, Luke keeps his exercise.
Commissioners' comments. Public participation. Anyone from the public wish to be heard? Anyone from the public? On any issue you'd like to speak about?
Bishop Bradley, 22645 Quinn Road, Clinton Township. My commission district is District Number 8, and in this district exists a school district called Clintondale that is more reminiscent of a plantation than a district, because this school district got rid of its past superintendent, who was black, because he initiated an investigation to both suspend and fire 3 high-ranking white of females for actions that your 3 minutes don't give me time to go into detail about, but are contained in these handouts that were never released by the district. The superintendent's efforts were stopped at the May 9th, 2022 2022 board meeting, when those 3 staffers, supporters, who were all white, filled the room, stopped the vote to fire them, stopped the vote to forward this document to the Michigan Attorney General. The superintendent was told to go back where he came from, which in the Black lexicon is Africa, and the then first ever Black board president was told that she was going to be run out of town. They demoted her after the November 2022 election, and all of this is taking place in a district that is 88+% Black as to student population. And the mastermind behind all of this is the present new board member, Jared Maynard, who ramrodded himself into that position. Now, Jared Maynard, angry because he wanted to fire the superintendent, angry because the superintendent left with a buyout before being fired, angry because the buyout was substantial, now wants the superintendent who's now gone, career ruined. So now, more than a year later, with inaccurate accusations, Jared has manipulated a new investigation, got the decision that he wanted, and has sent the result to the Michigan Board of Education, to the district where the Black superintendent is now working, and has put a poison pill in the superintendent's personnel file. Jared, angry because he was best at his every attempt to strike back at the superintendent, decided to try that new strategy. This, to me, and why I'm here, is hatred beyond the pale. It borders on blatant racism, all
You have 30
because
more seconds, please.
all because a Black man brought charges against not 1, but 3 white females, which are shades of Emmett Till. And all of this in Macomb County in the year 2024 that needs to be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard? Please come forward.
Carol Chi, 35325 Moravian Drive in Sterling Heights, since 1981. I just had a few more things to say about the water affordability and accessibility bills that I know you voted no on in the majority, but this program is not a cash cow. The money collected would go to the Michigan Treasury, and they will dole it out or distribute it out to the local water providers all across this state, all across the entire state, to maintain their infrastructure. The RAP program doesn't help the whole state. I think it only helps Southeast Michigan, basically. And it's unsustainable. And you can only stay on it for 2 years. Then you get kicked off. Then what do? Go back to no water? Try it. Try it at your house. GLEWA supports these 10 bills, the 5 in the House, the 5 in the state, the Great Lakes Water Authority. The census.gov says that Macomb County, all of Macomb County, has a 10.3% poverty rate. And Sterling Heights is one of those. If you look that up under census.gov, it also has 10.3% poverty rate. That means they can't afford their water, most likely, because the water bills have gone up so high. So please rethink this before you send it to the state of Michigan. Thank you for listening. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Anyone else under public participation wish to be heard on any item?
Chair, the board, I would like to talk, my name is Fred Neenstead, 41362 Justin Drive, Clinton Township. I would like to talk about election integrity, especially as it pertains to Macomb County. In Michigan, our Secretary of State has been rebuked numerous times by the state Supreme Court for her actions and her inactions to remediate those decisions made against her. Michigan Fair Elections has filed a formal complaint against the Secretary of State for her handling of elections in Michigan. There are 16 major counts that are in this complaint to the Election Assistance Commission. Under generally accepted government auditing standards, she has failed to do her duty with funds supplied by the Help America Vote Act. Almost $60 million was given to the state to fund such things as voter improvement, filing for voter applications, right? Improve voter turnout. But it's in the way that it was done. And so the accounting of it is going to be questioned by the Inspector General. And it'll be about 90 days. There should be some report about it. And I want to make sure that the county is aware of it. Specifically, it appears that Michigan is failing to make the required reasonable efforts to adhere to HAVA requirements, and the state is non-compliant with generally accepted government standards under HAVA Title III requirements, other federal voting rights and laws. This request for the EAC-OIG assessment of audit risk provides input for auditors and explains Michigan Fair Elections concerns. The 16 items listed, and I just got to scroll down a little bit, bear with me a moment.
You have 30 seconds.
Thank you. I wish I could have bookmarked it here. Well, essentially, let's just look at one item that is particularly egregious. A citizen, not even of the state of Michigan, will have the right to cast a vote in Michigan from any locality that they choose to ascribe their residence from overseas. There will be no requirement to check off that they actually are a citizen.
Your time's expired.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else under public participation wish to be heard? Please come forward.
Is it okay if I put this on this side?
Yes.
Okay. All right, this is,
Speak into the microphone though, please,
Stand it up there. There you
so
go.
we can get you on the mic.
I'll just put it right over here.
That's fine.
Good.
All right, my name is Paul Schorsch, and I live on 38057 Moravian Drive between Boncay and a street called James. I live right on the corner. The road is really, really bad there. There's been 2 accidents there caused by the road. They painted over the potholes on the road instead of fixing the road. Now where they did paint it, there's no paint whatsoever. There's not even any blacktop left. It's just gravel. It's that bad. And I'm hoping to ask you guys for some help. I don't want to see any more accidents in front of the house. If we could just fix the road, the damn road, like the governor said. And she even said she would give us the money to fix the road and put in bike lanes. And by Cass, there is actually a bike lane, a new bridge on Moravian, and it goes across the bridge, the bike lane. And so that part is new. We got a new park, George Park. We got a new canoe launch, and we got a bike path that's on 16 Mile Road. And we got a school in between there. This is a 3-mile stretch where it's really, really bad. And we got a sidewalk that comes from Ottawa School to Moravian. But on Moravian, I mean, if you could please at least come and look. You can pull in my drive, 38057 Moravian. Just look on the east side of the road and you'll see there's no blacktop. It's gone. It's just pure potholes and gravel. And I just don't want to see any more people getting hurt there. So if you can please finagle a deal with the governor, because she said that she was going to fix the roads, put in bike lanes, and if you guys can maybe even write her a letter. I'll write her a letter too. And maybe we can do it. If we all try, and see how bad it is. I mean, you just can't paint over the potholes. It just don't fix it. All right, thank you guys very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, if you could just look at this real quick, the top, you can see where they painted, but then when you start looking down by the bottom, there's no more paint on the side of the road. It's gone.
Leave it back by the door. We'll take a look at it.
All right, thank
you.
Thank you very much, Don. I knew I could count on you.
Don's gonna get it fixed.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I know something about gravel roads.
Not responding to public
In
comment.
Northumberland County. All right. Anybody else in their public participation want to be heard? Anyone else from the public? One more time, anyone else from the public? Seeing no one, we'll go to number 19, commissioner comments. Any commissioner comments before we go to the next item? Commissioner Zinner.
Thank you, Chair. I've met this gentleman, he's very nice, and I drove it, and you literally go down, it's literally, you sink a little when you go through that area. You can definitely tell what he's talking about. Secondly, Commissioner Hall, I'm sure knows about this, and I just saw a brief little glimpse on the news, and I looked it up. There's a woman who worked, I really don't know where she worked, in Fraser, I assume for the government, and she embezzled X amount of money. They found it, caught it, and she's paying it back. And she's still working there. I believe she's still working there. The news, it was a small clip on the news. And she's losing X amount of years of her pension, which I thought was very interesting compared to things that have happened here. So I just thought that was interesting. The news said it was $1,000, but it's a lot much more than that. But she is repaying X amount. She's paid back quite a bit of money, I guess, so far. But I just thought, oh, she lost some of her pension. Interesting, and I thought that was admirable. A good, interesting choice from that government facility there. Thank you. Done.
Thank you, Commissioner Van Sickle.
Thank you, Chair. Just a general comment about roads. This past month at SEMCOG, they had a presentation about various pieces of data available, and that would be SEMCOG, semcog.org. And on the SEMCOG website, you can go in, and roads are very confusing because they could be owned by the local municipality, such as Clinton Township. They could be owned and maintained by the county, or they could be owned and maintained by the state. And at the SEMCOG website, you can drill down and see all the roads, and they have color coding of who owns the various roads. So if anybody has concern about a certain road, not anybody in particular in the room, but if anybody has any concerns about any particular road, they can go to this website and figure out who is actually the responsible government body for that. And they might get the best traction by going to that body.
Thank you, Commissioner Van Sickle. Commissioner Romano.
Thank you, Chair. Paul, so that you know, I've been fighting to get Moravian fixed from 15-mile road all the way up to Utica Road for the last 3 or 4 years. And I think we finally got some money allocated for it. Perhaps we can talk to the road commission and see if maybe we can extend Moravian, because the part I'm talking about is probably just as bad as yours, and it does need it. And maybe we can get our road commissioner, Mr. Santos, take a look at it. That's all I have. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Nard.
Hello, everybody. I had the opportunity to spend some time in Washington with SEMCOG, and we were at a NARC convention, National Association of Regional Councils. And we had the opportunity to meet with several members of Congress at the Library of Congress. And they talked about everything from air quality to housing to roads. And what I noticed, I didn't realize how important the local municipality is to these people, because if you don't communicate with them, they won't know what we need. And I got asked a question by several of the members because they found out I was from Michigan, and they were like, "Oh wow, okay, you're from Michigan. What city?" Told them I was from Warren, and they were like, "Oh, the third largest city. I know you guys got great plans." And I was so very disappointed because all the other people that were there with me had great things to say about what their city was doing, and I didn't have any information to give. And I believe that was just so unfair. Me as a county commissioner that gets out in the community, and I work hard, and I make it my business to get to know everybody that works in my municipality. But when that lack of communication is there, and that whatever you want to call that. That clog is there like a clogged artery. I couldn't even go up to Congress and say there was my opportunity to tell them what Warren needed. And by us going through the things that we went through and having no plan, and my parents would always say, if you don't plan to win, you plan to fail. So we don't have a plan. We don't know what we're going to be doing. I had to tell them that we ain't doing. I'm gonna say nothing, but that's not what I said to their faces. So no, we're not doing nothing right now. But I'd had a lot of great things, which I was so happy to say about Macomb County. And I always brag on our sheriff department. I brag on all the departments in the county, and I was happy to do that. But I'm just, right now I'm really heated that there's nothing good that I can say about my city. And I wish that when it comes to helping people, and I notice I talk to people, members of Congress from Democrats to Republicans, and they all want what's best for their particular municipality. There was no fighting. There was no, I'm a Republican, I'm not going to talk to them. And there was none of that. And I was very happy to see that. I didn't expect to see that. The president was even though people talk about his age, he was very engaging. He was, he was able to tell us what he wanted to do, what his plans are, and he seemed very concerned about the people of America, which was very surprising to me because of what I hear on the media. So it was a good opportunity to be there, but we as local municipalities have to remember our mayors and our city council members need to talk to whoever the people elect as their council person or their county commissioner. It doesn't matter what color she might be or he. It doesn't matter where they come from. If the people elect them, then it's up to us to talk and get that communication. So when I go to things like that, because Mr. John Brown will tell you that I go to every single meeting they have, and I'm so happy to say what we're doing. But when I have to tell them that there's nothing, and it might be something happening, but it wasn't communicated to me. So when I went to Washington, D.C., I had to say Warren, Michigan, the third largest city in the state, is doing nothing. And I was very disappointed with that. So I'm hoping that the people in Warren hear me today and get that together, because I'm very heated about it. And I will be talking at their next council meeting about it to each and every one of them. And I hope that your municipalities, that you make sure that they talk to you and tell you what's happening, because you don't know how that felt to sit in front of a congressman that says, yes, I'm trying to get in touch. I wanted to offer you guys something, but the person won't call me back or whatever. And I was keeping all this quiet, and I won't be keeping it quiet any longer. 2024, I will be bringing out a lot of craziness that's happening, because all the infighting and all the Republican and Democrat crap needs to stop, because at the end of the day, our people that live in these municipalities is what matters most. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. As I always say, people over politics. So I don't know if I'll get elected again, and if I don't, my bills will still be paid, but I will tell you, the time that I have, I will be speaking about all that dumbness that's going on, and that I want you to know up here that I'm going to take care of everybody that's in my community, from center line to the end of 8 Mile. I'm going to make sure everybody is taken care of. So that's it for now.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Commissioner Haw.
Well, you're a tough act to follow.
I'm sorry.
My goodness. To Commissioner Zinner, I was very much well aware of that case. It was an agreement reached between the judge, the prosecutor, and the plaintiff. The way the current law is written today, they have the discretion to do that, not us. That particular issue. To the elephant in the room, our sheriff's department is second to none. We know that. If you recall, I think it was 2 years ago when we went through the compensation, I was the one that asked Sheriff Wickersham, how come the undersheriff is making $31,000 more than you do? His answer was, that's you guys, meaning us. Commissioner Romano raised the subject, Chair Brown raised the subject, I raised the subject, Commissioner Perna raised the subject. How do we fix this? Because I'm sure you're aware our clerk, Tony Ferlini's in the same boat as the sheriff. It needs to be fixed. We all agree on that. What we couldn't agree upon was how to fix it. The 6% that we just passed over 4 years, right? Was a compromise that we could come to get something over and above Actually, I think the amount was over and above what the employees were getting contractually for the same year. I'm pretty sure that's correct. So it's not that we don't know this is a big issue. You guys are the best around. You all know I have brothers and relatives that wore that same uniform, not with all the brass, but the same uniform that you guys did. I hear it from them. I hear it from the retirees in the sheriff's department. It is something that's a total disparity. We only looked across other counties and cities. I know I heard the Roseville Police Chief's salary. Yes, first time I've even heard that, as a comparable. And the comparable identified there is a huge disparity amongst the sheriff, the undersheriff, and the rank and file. What I believe our chairman said at the last meeting, we have to find a way to fix it. Is it getting done today? No. Something got done today, and I said last time we talked about this, it's not a case of trying to please all the people all the time. It's a case of doing what's right. And we know the disparities there. Tony, to his credit, both Wickersham and Ferlini don't stand here and tell us, hey, there's a disparity, because we know it. I appreciate you guys supporting your boss. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm very proud of what you're saying. Recognize that we do know it. It's how to fix it is what's going to be the issue. I mean, I love Jimmy Cook over there, but if I stood up here and said, give Tony Wickersham $30,000 a year, I could read the headline tomorrow. I did it, which is what Perna and I got accused last time in the paper. We did it. So it's there. We know it. We have to find a way to fix it. And the commitment is we need to fix it. So thank all of you for showing up. That's all I have, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Song.
Thank you, Chair. I also want to thank you guys for being here. I know how busy you are. And even the folks from the clerk's office, when they were here last week, that really helped us to kind of understand, because you guys are the ones that are in the day-to-day in the field. And so you know more than any, I think, compensation study has shown. But with that said, I think I would recommend having another compensation study in anticipation of the next time that this does come up. And I know we had a work group with some commissioners, but I think even having like an independent work group that consisted of county employees and other experts to really help us fix this disparity. And I look at all of the countywides and I see their salary it varies very much so, and I don't know when that started and why that's the case, but if it were up to me, I think they should all be paid equally because they serve the entire county. In terms of the county commissioners, I know some of us serve on different boards and commissions, and we attend a lot of events, and I would just say very much so that I think the commissioners are underpaid. There's a huge gap between the commissioners and the chairperson, and I think that we need to work to close that gap too, because the role of a commissioner, I think, is more than part-time, and maybe it was like that in the past, but I think a lot of that has really changed. So I voted no on this because I don't think this is the best solution. I think we need to do more, and we knew that this was coming up. I think we could have did more. With that said, I have lived in Warren for over 21 years. I love my city. Warren is the most diverse city in Macomb County. There's over a year wait list of people waiting to get into Warren, in particular the senior housing at 696. There are many people who are waiting to come to our city. And so, I think Warren has a lot to offer, and we really have to work together to make it an even better place to live and work and play. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Anybody else under commissioner comments? Seeing none, we'll close commissioner comments. Item 20, a motion to go into closed session to address the confidential memo from independent counsel.
So moved by Nard.
Motion's been made.
Support.
Supported. Please vote.
Again?
I'm not voting.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 12-0.
Regular session. Need a motion on 21A.
So moved.
To
21A, we're just voting on straight. So yes. Oh,
we're calling.
all right, I withdraw my motion. I'm not sure what you were looking for A.
Do you need a second?
It wasn't a motion.
Oh,
We need a motion maker. I'll make a motion on 21A.
Please.
I'll support it.
All right. Please vote.
Have to vote on it.
Vote no.
Do you want a voice vote, Sylvia? You probably want to say it so I can hear it. Just to be safe. No. Thank you. Motion fails 2-9. Commissioners Brown, Grote, Haw, Lucido, Nard, Perna, Romano, Van Sickle, and Song voting no.
Okay, very good. I need a motion on number 21B.
Chair, I motion to move 21B to the March 21st full board meeting.
Support for that?
support.
Discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Okay, thank you. Item 2018, need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Support, very good.
Was there a
Please
motion to
vote.
adjourn? I think we stay here for a little while longer. Let's talk some more.
Please call the vote.
This is what you stuck around for, Jamie.
Thank you.
Quite a letdown.
Have a nice evening.